Are drones being used in Manipur to drop bombs on civilian communities? That's the big question as fresh violence returned to Manipur this weekend. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo story. Our focus continues to be on an area of the country that many seem to have forgotten. The northeastern state of Manipur, where the Manipur police alleges that drone attacks have now entered the conflict area, that drones have been weaponized to drop bombs. The allegation from the Manipur police is that drone attacks were used to target Meitei dominated villages. The DGP, the top police officer, has gone on record to make this charge. Kuki Groups have said that this is a false and unfounded allegation and that drones are used by both communities that have been at odds with each other for more than a year now, the Kukis and the Meiteis, strictly for surveillance purposes. Kuki Groups have also accused Indian TV channels of showing fake images and presenting them as drone attacks. There seemed to be a recent lull, at least in the violence, though not in the division between the two communities. But as fresh violence returns to the northeastern state of Manipur, at least over this weekend, with two sets of what the police are calling drone attacks, the fault lines have only deepened. Remember, as our own reporting from the ground revealed to us, the main problem is that weapons, thousands of them, are in the hands of civilians from both communities, Kukis and Meiteis, farmers and students, not just in the hands of security personnel. And attempts to disarm the civilian population so far have yielded no results. Now, the thought of weaponized drones is a bone chilling one. As I said, it is being denied by the Kuki groups. They say drones are being used for surveillance, but the police is categorical and say that 2 people were killed and 10 injured in drone attacks over the weekend, and in a second set of attack, 3 more people have been injured. To make sense of what is happening in Manipur, let me introduce our guests on the program today. Joining me on the program is W.L. Hangshing. He's, of course, the General Secretary of the KPA. He's a major leader of the Kuki community. Also joining me is military veteran Colonel Sapam, Colonel Shanti Kumar Sapam. He's a military veteran. He's been an outspoken voice on the divisions in Manipur and the state of strife and turmoil. Also joining me is Major Ali. He is a military veteran who has served in that area, and I should say he just received a major commendation from the Assam Rifles. So congratulations to you on that, Major Ali. And also joining us on the program today is Rami Desai. She's an author and an expert on the Northeast. Welcome, Rami. It's good to see you after a long time. All right, I want to start by actually placing on record what the top police officer of Manipur has said, because there are so many claims and counterclaims that I don't want this to be in my own voice. I'll play out for you what the Manipur Director General of Police has said about the use of drone attacks, and then we can begin our conversation. Listen in.
This is a new thing which has happened, and we have already Manipur police ने पहले ही ट्वीट किया हुआ है. So it has been escalated, and we are taking it very seriously. We have spoken to everybody from here to Delhi, और वहाँ दिल्ली में भी NSG से भी हम लोगों ने बात किया है, DG NSG से बात किया है, उनकी टीम से बात किया है, प्लस और भी एक्सपर्ट्स आ रहे हैं. हम लोगों ने कमिटी भी एक बनाई है कि ये ड्रोन के बारे में पूरा ये पढ़ने के लिए एंड समथिंग टू डू काउंटर करने के लिए उसको कैसे हम लोग आगे ये करें. आसाम राइफल एक कमिटी तो बना दी गई, बट उसके बाद भी कुछ एक्सपर्ट्स को भी हम लोग बुला रहे हैं और जल्दी से जल्दी हम लोग कुछ इसका उपाय ढूंढेंगे. वहां पर हमारे पास कुछ है काउंटर के लिए, दैट ऑल्सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू डिप्लॉय. और प्लस जो हिल के एरियाज हैं, जो जहां पर अटैक हुए हैं 3-4 जगह पे, उन सभी पे हम लोग के ऑपरेशन चल रहे हैं. कल भी हुए थे, आज भी हुए हैं, आज रिकवरीज भी हुई हैं, कल भी कुछ रिकवरीज हुई थी. तो कॉम्बिंग ऑपरेशन चलता रहेगा. तो वो बिल्कुल ही श्योर रहेंगे. सो एवरीवेयर कॉम्बिंग ऑपरेशन विल कैरी ऑन.
Okay, so that is the statement on record from the top police officer. Kuki Groups, multiple groups have issued press releases saying that the allegations are fake and unfounded. I'm quoting from their statements. They say the drones are strictly used by both communities. They argue for surveillance purposes. Mr. Hangshing, I'll start with you. What is happening? This is a very serious turn of events, and the allegation that drones are being weaponized to drop bombs on civilian populations. This is the allegation from the police. Now, of course, it is important to say that one of the most dangerous aspects of what's happening in Manipur is that our security institutions are also, in a sense, caught in the polarization. The Meitei community seems to be more comfortable with the police, the Kuki community with the Assam rifles. That is an unfortunate fallout of what has happened in Manipur. But I'll start with you on this allegation that Kuki groups have used drones, weaponized drones, to target Meitei dominated villages. You would say what, sir?
The 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 immediate flashpoint was Kotruk. Now I have myself rung up the ground level at 2 days back, and what I was told was that this Kotruk is just at the foothill of a very crucial lifeline for the Kukis between Kampupi and Churachandpur. There's a hill road which they themselves have constructed, because they can't go through Imphal anymore. And this has been a point where continuous ambushes are taking place by the Meitei militants. And on that day, with the drone surveillance, they detected a lot of movement over there. So they got together and counterattacked the ambush, chased them down into the village Kotruk, and then one thing led to the other, and Kotruk was attacked. And then we see all these drone images. I don't know whether it was these drones were used at that point of conflict, or it is some other images just put together to build up the intensity of the conflict. Now, another one video I saw was a Meitei group aiming. These the drone bombings are not so scary as you put it. It is not like those Israeli. I mean, they are not guided missiles, electronic or accurate. They just approximately drop from the sky, like they drop parcels. These are parcel drones which they have improvised for dropping bombs. They are not accurate. So this video which I saw was that they had they had blundered and dropped it on the Meitei village. This is very clear. Now, but I don't know whether this is related to Kotruk or not, or what the picture was of Kotruk or what. I don't know. But
So, Mr. Hanshing, unfortunately, we are dependent on the images that are released by official institutions. We have no way of independently fact-checking the Manipur police right now. At least not, we have to be on the ground to be able to fact-check anyone. The images that we are using on this program have been released by the Manipur police. I understand that Kuki groups have some disquiet about certain TV channels. They've named Republic TV in their press release. They accuse them of having used images from Gaza. But the images you're seeing on this program are released by the Manipur police. Now, my question to you, Mr. Hangshing, is this. Are you saying drones are weaponized by both communities and this is not new? Only the national media is waking up to it now? Or are you saying this is not happening at all? Which one are you saying?
See, the drone has been used for surveillance. That is a fact. And in fact, it was first used by the Meiteis, and they used it very effectively. Then there was a media call among the Kuki groups to get to also use the drones for surveillance and counter check the movement of the other side. That was that is correct. But whether drones are actually used for dropping or not, I don't know. I've seen images of experimentations and these are not guided bombs. They just drop approximate area from the sky. It may hit the target, may not hit the target. In fact, it may hit the wrong target, and that seemed to have happened in certain cases where they dropped it on their own villages, and you could see their exclamation in the video in Manipuri that they have made a mistake, they have blundered. That kind of it was quite apparent that they had dropped it on themselves.
Yeah. Okay, let's open
So
this up now. Colonel,
yeah.
yeah, got it. So Colonel Sapam, the official response from the Kuki groups is that drones are used for surveillance, not to drop bombs. Mr. Hangsheng says that there may be a certain amount of experimentation, is the word he uses. The Kuki groups also say that the Meiteis have better access to technology. They, in fact, have the capacity to weaponize the drones. And I'm quoting them now, not we, me. They say, quote unquote, we, the Kukis, have been under attack from weaponized drones since December 2023. Nobody in the national media paid attention. Now that the Meiteis are purportedly at the receiving end, everybody is paying attention. Colonel Sapam, as a military veteran, I'm sure you feel very sad that even the army, the Assam Rifles, the police is now, in a way, caught up in this polarization. How do you see this latest allegation coming from the top police officer about drone attacks? Not drone surveillance, drone attacks.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Hang Sing sir, good evening. And uh, firstly, Hang Sing sir has submitted that the ambush area, the Meitei have been laying ambush and all those things. That area is totally little above that Kotruk line. There's just no question of any ambush because that area is completely controlled by the cookies. That is number one. There's just no question of any ambush in that site. And Kautuk is a village which is in the plain area, and the Bethel. So there's a village called Bethel. Bethel by crowfly. We call it in military terms by crowfly. It is around 600 to 800 meters, hardly 600 meters. And that Bethel village is around 200 meters from the ground level. Ground level means the ground level of Manipur, that field, paddy field from that. Now, to operate this drone, you have to see it properly. So, let me submit one thing, Hang Sing sir. At 2 o'clock, it was the bomb was dropped at 2 o'clock because the operator, he has to see the drone and how much distance he's gone and what is the direction. That is why it was operated at 2 o'clock. And it can be exactly dropped. The distance the drone has gone out from the operator, that can be calculated very easily, and the crow flight distance of any location in that area can be worked out in today's technology, and it can be dropped. So the DGP who is there, he is also an educated person. Barkhaji, he is an educated person. He knows what is what. That is why he gave that comment that the drone came from so-and-so place. If, as far as any Meitei chap, even for surveillance, if he has to send a drone, then at least he has to lift up his drone by 200 meters. For example, that Bethel village, Bethel, is around 200 meters from the ground level, from the plain level. So the drone has to go up at least around 300 to 400 meters, which is very difficult to go up. And that too from, let's say, operating from around 800 to 1 kilometer. So that is a very difficult, difficult job if a Meitei has to do it.
So you're saying because the Meiteis are in the plains and the Kukis are in the higher areas, the Meitei community would find it tougher to use the drone, right?
Very tough, very tough. Even for surveillance, it is very tough. And all the Kuki villages are on the height. They can, when a drone is let off, he is seeing in his sitting eye level. It is going at 200 meters above the plain area. And from there, he's just seeing it. And the moment it goes, the distance can be worked out so easily nowadays, and it can be just dropped. And there are 51 motor, 51 motor bomb. The nozzle of the bomb has to be broken. The impact has to be there. In case if Meitei Chap has to send a drone to a Kuki village or something, then the drone has to fly up to 400 meters if the height of the village is 200. So this is what we have to think over. Now,
yeah. Can I
drone
ask
can go
you?
to. Yes.
Yeah, can I ask you, are these drone attacks new? Are they new, or have we just woken up to them? Are they new, or
See,
have we just woken up to them?
no, it was never there before. It was never there before.
Okay,
The dimension, it has added one dimension in the fight. And the fight
right.
is not, the fight is not, Barkhaji, I told you in the first time, if you remember, I said it is not a fight between the Kukis and the Meiteis. It has got lot of national security problem. And that time
Of
I wanted
course.
to rattle up, but then there were a lot of complications. That is why I did. But I have been telling again and again that it had a lot of national security problem, and that
We
problem
agree,
has to
sir.
be sorted out by. Yes, I have been telling this. I'm a military man who had put in 28 years of service, and there are certain things which I
Yes.
understand about the geopolitics and the various things. And let me tell you one thing: I have served in Manipur with the Assam Rifles for 4 years. I have lived with the Kukis and Nagas. And let
Yes.
me tell you one more thing is also that NSCN came to negotiation table. Much of the credit goes to me also. I did not, during my 4 years of service, I have not arrested or captured any militant. I have not arrested. I have not caught any. But I did my work. I thought the Meiteis, what you call Nagas and Kuki, they are all brothers. And I felt that if we have to progress, we all have to progress. So I worked it on that line and tried to bring the
Yes.
Nagas also on negotiation table. One thing I would like to
Fair.
say, Hansing sir, with due regards, I would like to say the first posting which I had in 1994 was at Saikul, the rehab of Saikul, writing to Army headquarters, getting the ADG project, one company of engineer company with all the equipments and materials, and work for one complete year
No,
under Major Mark was done by me, sir.
yes, I'm sure Mr. Hangshing will have much to say about the points you've raised, but let me just get our other two guests. And Colonel Sapam, I
Yes,
hear
sir.
your emotion. We remember even when the violence erupted, you were in tears. We all remember that image of you breaking down to see what was happening in your home state, and we feel what you feel. We feel what you feel. Just let me get the others. Let me just get the others. Rami and Major Ali. Rami, it's very serious. I don't know. I don't want to get caught up in the claims and counterclaims of it because I'm not an investigator. But the fact that we are now talking, in addition to weapons being in the hands of civilians of both communities, to drones, to airdropping bombs, it has never been done in India, even by the military. No military has ever dropped bombs from the skies. Now, of course, Mr. Hangsheng says if it's happening, it's some rough experimentation. It's not this ominous thing that you're making it sound like. What do you say?
Barkha, good evening. It's good to be back on your show, and it's good to see all your panelists. This is the calmest, most open discussion I've been on. So let me say this, Barkha, you're quite right. We've now reached another level of conflict, and it's really sad because 1 year down the line, last year when we were discussing this, the conflict was peaking, the rate of incidents came down, and suddenly, with a bang out of nowhere, it's been ramped up. Now, if we look at it, yes, in Pathankot it did happen, where drones were used. But since then, we haven't seen anything quite like this. However, this has always been something that has been on my mind because across the border in Myanmar, drones are in rampant use. And, they're not being procured from somebody like people would think. But, these are spare parts that are readily available. They know how to assemble them. And these are pretty advanced drones. The CNA itself has a specific drone army that just looks at manufacturing drones and using them against the junta and other adversaries. So it was only a matter of time because of the kind of borders that we have, because of the kind of connections that militant groups have across the border, that this would be accessible. Now, it being accessible and it being used are two very different things. And I think what has happened is that again, I don't want to get into this blame game. I've always said that the only thing that really matters to us sitting in Delhi is the territorial integrity of this country. There are certain things that are going to happen, certain things that are just not going to happen in the future. So you can demand it as much as you want, but it's not realistic, and finally, the fact is that both these communities have to live together. Now, a high level, investigative team has been put together, and sure enough, I'm sure that the perpetrators are going to be caught. Now, here's the thing: once the perpetrators are caught, is the community that they belong to going to stand by them, or are they going to openly condemn it? Because this has now become imperative. Do you want this conflict to escalate and continue like this and become worse? Because today they're using drones, tomorrow you'll use anything else. And what sort of a cowardly act this is, that you are using it on unarmed women and children, who have been impacted by this drone bombing or whatever it is. So are you going to condemn this, or are you going to support it? Because every time a conversation of peace comes up, Barkha, there has been objection. We saw one gentleman recently said, I am not a Kuki, I'm a Thado, and his house was burned down. Is that fair? This is a free country. If he doesn't, if he wants to claim to be a Thado, let him claim to be a Thado. If that is how he feels that he can engage with the Meiteis, at least let him engage. Who are the people who are stopping the peace process? And this goes for both sides of the communities. Why are people not coming out?
Can I just ask you briefly, and then I'll go to Major Ali. Just be brief so that I can get him also. Is a peace process possible in a state where thousands of weapons are in the hands of civilians, farmers, and school students?
Absolutely, Barkha. That's really, that's the moot point of it. But I think peace is always possible if you really want it. The average civilian wants it. This is a state of CSOs on both ends. We don't have the kind of civil society organizations anywhere like we have in Manipur. It's very sad, and it's very, it's shocking to see that out of all these CSOs, there hasn't been a group that has come up that is that constitutes the Meitei community, the Kuki community, as well as the Naga community, because they are also stakeholders in Manipur, And I think that is the need of the hour, and I think we need to be very clear with ourselves as to where we want to see us go in the next 10 years. And this is for the communities of Manipur to decide.
Major Ali, is there a foreign hand, or is this all domestic? The drone army, as it were, across the border in Myanmar that Rami referred to, how seriously should we be looking at that? You see, in the end, this is our own problem. The problem is that we have to get both communities to the dialogue table. I don't understand. There is no other solution. The military can't come in and solve this. The Manipur police can't come in and solve this. We have to get Mr. Hangshing, Colonel Sapam, who passionately says that he may be from the Meitei community, but as an Indian soldier, he lived with the Kukis. He worked with the Nagas. He was part of several milestone moments, including the NSCN ceasefire and so on. So, Major Ali, how do you see this debate around the drone attacks?
Right, Barkha, the very fact is whether a drone was used there or not. The very fact is that we are discussing it, it's in the news, it's for people are speculating about it, which means it is actually a very, very dangerous situation. It's very precarious. And I concur with Colonel Sapam over here. He has lived with the Kukis, he's lived with Nagas, he talks peace. Thankfully, we have a voice who talks a lot of sense over here. And well, there is a sinister design by someone to make both the communities fight. Because all this while the Meiteis and the Kukis were living like brothers. Now suddenly, so in the sinister design, the innocent people, the common man, the common Meitei and the Kuki, they'll suffer with a common Meitei wants peace, a common Kuki wants peace. But of course, 100% there is someone sinister design somewhere there. And
but today, Major Ali, sorry. I want to interrupt. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you say the common person wants peace, and that's true. But the common person cannot travel from Churachandpur to Imphal or from Imphal to Churachandpur. Basically, what I'm saying is a Meitei can't go into a Kuki area today, and a Kuki will not go into a Meitei area today. That's the truth. Let's also not, dress up the truth. Now, please go ahead, Major Ali.
That's right. So the Meiteis unfortunately cannot come to the Kuki areas. The Kukis cannot go to the Meitei areas, and people are fooling themselves by saying all is well in Manipur. Things were normalizing in Manipur. No, but that's not the case. In fact, I commend you. You are one of the few journalists who actually went on ground zero, and saw the situation with your in first and with your own eyes. You even won the best journalist award, best reporting award from Manipur for that. So the very fact is, there are a lot of people who shoot in the dark, who don't know what's going on. They will just want to speak for the heck of it. So they have been some people. I don't want to report, don't want to take the names, but there's a big difference between Mizoram and Manipur, Assam and Manipur. There's a very big difference over there. So as they say, half baked knowledge is a very dangerous thing. So the very fact is, we are having trouble in Manipur, and let us not fool ourselves. I'm telling the nation that thing by presuming and thinking that things are good in Manipur, things are all well. It's was going towards normalcy. No, a Kuki today from Delhi, if he wants to go to Manipur, he will go via Mizoram, by Aizawl to Chachanpur. A Meitei cannot come to a Kuki place, which is dominated by Kukis, like More is dominated by Kukis. Chachanpur is dominated by Kukis. A Kuki by a Meitei cannot come there. Unfortunately.
So what next now? So what happens? What happens now? I want to bring in Mr. Hangshing. He's heard a lot of things also from the others. I'll come back to you, Major Ali. Mr. Hangshing, what happens now? This division, for anyone following Manipur, we know people are divided not by a line of, not by a physical line, but by something else, a fault line. This is what you call a fault line. But if, this fresh violence this weekend, gunfighting, mortar fire, drone attacks. You heard Colonel Sapam speak with great passion. What do you say, Mr. Hangshik?
I wish we had people like Colonel Sapam right from the beginning. This would not have happened. But unfortunately, the people who dominate the politics are not like him. And that is the sad part of this story of Manipur now. That is why we are where we are now. Now, what I'm saying is, we have to look ahead from now. If we go and post-mortem, it'll be an endless debate, blaming each other, this, that. But the point is, we have come to a point where we can't go back. We keep saying, oh, we have to restore peace. Peace, it's easy to declare war. You declared war. And in fact, it was the Kokomi who declared war on the Kukis. It's easy to declare war. But can you declare peace? Peace is something that cannot be imposed. It has to be built up. Now, build up in this situation where we have reached a position where there is clear division in terms of everything. Even the government does not think we are part of the state. They say we are illegal migrants. You go away where you came from. Even if you came 200, 300 years ago, it doesn't matter. You came. The point is, everybody has come from somewhere. Now, if you start, whether we came from, we were in Manipur before 200 years or not, that is also debatable. Maybe some people came even a year ago. Some people came 1,000 years ago. Now, that is a different subject altogether. Now, people are mixing up this and painting one person who came like.
So where do we go from here? You said don't look back.
We go from here. Forward, we already divided. You already divided. We cannot live together again under the same roof. And if you want peace to come, you have to build the fences between us, separate the administration, and then when peace comes, it will not matter whether we are separate administration or not. You look at Europe today; they're all different countries. If you travel in Europe, you don't even know which country you are in. It doesn't matter.
So you're asking for a separate. So you're saying a separate administration is the only way forward. Before I come to Colonel Sapam, I see Rami's hand up. Rami.
Can I say something more before Rami comes in? Because Rami was saying that the integrity of the country cannot be compromised. We are not talking about the integrity of the country. We're talking about integrity of Manipur. And we are asking for separate administration within the Constitution of India. We are not talking about breaking up India, or we are not talking sedition. The Kukis by
Right.
no means ever talked sedition from India. In fact, we are the ones who have been with Subhash Chandra Bose. We were the only community with Subhash Chandra Bose, not the Meiteis, not the Nagas.
Okay.
And
I think the one,
even
I
after
think, I
that,
think the one, yeah, yeah.
not a bullet has been fired against the Indian army. Major Saab will.
Yes. Okay.
But
Yes, Rami.
I wanted to make a couple of quick points of what Mr. Hangshan has said. Of course, we've all had a reasonable conversation and we've made our points, but, the government of India never said that the Kukis were illegal. I think it is abundantly clear to everybody who's been following the Manipur conflict that it was the illegal immigrants that were coming in from Myanmar that were called illegal. And there was a concern of demographic change as well as poppy cultivation and occupation of forest land, which is not even state land, comes under the center. These were the concerns with illegal immigration. Also, the fact that Mizoram had registration and Manipur didn't. So let us be very clear about that, because I feel this consistent dialogue of blaming government of India, saying that they've said this or they are against this community, again increases fault lines. Because each community has its own radicals that would love to believe this, and that is what polarizes them in being against the state. So I think these are very dangerous statements and we should stay away from it. Number two.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Rami.
Number two,
everyone has their hands up, so just make it brief. Yeah, Rami. Yeah.
Number two, that Mr. Hangshan also said that, I spoke about territorial integrity. Sir, I have also on national television said that if there are financial powers that can be given to the hill councils, if there are other sort of, anything that can appease the tempers of the hill people, that should be given to them. However, my objection has always been with the union territory demand, because, this is not just about the Meiteis and the Kukis, this is also about the Nagas, and there are lands that are overlapping. So I think we have to understand what each other is saying in perspective.
Okay, Colonel Sapam. Mr. Hangshan, please let me just get the others. I'll come back to you. Colonel Sapam. Can we unmute, sir, please?
It's very important.
Sir,
the kingdom of Manipur.
Yes. Yes.
The kingdom of Manipur, the king with his horsemen, where he could go, that was the boundary of Manipur. And let's be very clear on that. And in 1948, before Manipur merged to India, that time there was one election held. And the king was so liberal and so noble that, let me tell you one thing. The Speaker of the Assembly was Mr. T.C. Thiankam. And the another minister was T. Kipgen. And the Hills and Tribal Affairs Minister was Mr. Bob Kathing, Major Bob Kathing. And another minister was Mr. Kilong. So that was the formation, that was the ministry before India, Manipur merged to India. Now, why Meiteis are so sentimental about Manipur? Let me tell you this also. We all heard the story of King Solomon, 2 mothers and 1 child. We all have heard during our childhood. It was a lesson which it was taught in the school. The real mother didn't want the child to be cut into half. The Meiteis are very sentimental about the integrity of this state because it was the legacy of Manipur. Manipur was I would say it was a structure. It was an institution. That is that the Meiteis are very sentimental. And one more thing, very clearly, let me just sum it. If the time is running out, always time is out. This class has been sponsored by nothing but US. I'll give you one more example also. The Queen of Sikkim in 1975 and before was a lady from US and confirmed to be CIA. And that time Cold War was taking place between Russia.
Why would the Americans have a hand in doing this? Why? Reason? Quickly.
That is what I'm coming to. It is an investment as far as the Americans are concerned. It is an investment. There was a gentleman called, now let me complete the Queen's story. That Queen, since Sikkim had a lot of affinity with India, they joined India in 75. And finally the Queen left. But America implanted her in Sikkim because of the Cold War. That was one. Secondly, at the time of independence, British left with one idea that the Christian states of some portion of Manipur and some portion of Myanmar. I never believed that time. I never thought that time that Bangladesh will also be included. No, I did not know that time. This I came to know very recently. There was a plan to make a Christian country in this area. The British had planted this. British and US, they are always big Paremia and Chotemia. Wherever they go, whether they are wrong, whether they are correct, they will always be together.
Okay.
You just see it. And Bangladesh was over just like that. Bangladesh was just over like that. Just give me 2 sentence. 2 sentence. The people of Manipur, we comprise of Meiteis, Nagas, then Kukis, then what do you call Marwaris, Bengalis, Nepalese, everyone is there. Pangals are there. We must live in harmony. And please, Hang Sing sir, don't say that we cannot live together. Time will prove you that you are absolutely wrong. And when the proof comes, then it will be embarrassing. Any person who is in favor of the class, subsequently he will be embarrassed, because subsequently he will be proved and he will be wrong. This is what I wanted to submit. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Colonel Sapam. I have just a couple of minutes left. Major Ali and then Mr. Hang Seng can get a last word. Major Ali, Colonel Sapam has spoken about an American hand, a kind of Western investment in fomenting trouble. Rami has spoken about Myanmar. Mr. Hang Seng says we cannot live under the same roof. Colonel Sapam says it's out of the question a separate administration. Now, some sort of devolution within the existing framework. Is that a way forward? There has to be some way forward. It has been more than a year. I know we've had long-running insurgencies in the Northeast, but this is not an insurgency. This is an internal clash between two communities of Indians, which bothers me more, frankly, than an insurgency. Major Ali.
Barkha, Colonel Sapam mentioned that, the British left with one idea of a Christian state, and he didn't believe it all this while. I honestly don't believe it even now, in fact, for that matter, because I feel that if that would have been the case, then even the Nagas would have been involved. The Mizos from somewhere. So somewhere it's difficult for me to believe that. I believe it's 100% definitely someone's sinister designs where innocent Meiteis and innocent Kukis are falling prey to it. Unfortunately, the common man is suffering. So the very fact is, army's hands are tied. The forces, the Assam Rifles, their hands are tied. So when your hands are tied, along with responsibility comes authority, along with authority comes responsibility. So when this is happening, there's a lot of information warfare happening in Manipur. In fact, there are some people sending social media images that improvised artillery guns are being ready and such things. So I would urge people not to go ahead with unconfirmed reports. And I commend you. In fact, I have seen it firsthand. You don't carry out a news unless and until you cross-verify it multiple times, for that matter. So because of this information warfare that's going on, there's a lot of hate between both the communities, unfortunately, and not just in Manipur. I'm scared and I fear it has danger of spilling out of Manipur, in fact, which
it's a very serious situation.
Mizoram was almost on the verge of it a couple of months back when it was almost spilling out. So my greatest
I think
fear
that is the implications of a spillover. I think I absolutely take your point. Very briefly, Rami, I'm sorry I'm out of time. Go ahead, Rami, and then Mr. Hang Seng can have the last word. Yes, Colonel Sapam.
I just wanted to back Colonel Sapam up because, my friend here said that he doesn't quite believe the whole design. It was called, sir, it was on paper. It was called the Coupland Plan. And the Crown Colony was created in many places across the world basis this design. The fact is that the British Empire lost its power and lost its money. And this was a very remote region, so they couldn't do that. But that is one of the reasons that we had the Naga insurgency come up finally, wanting a separate state. So I am quite ready to believe, looking at the developments in Myanmar and the kind of actors that are responsible there, that this is a grander design, and we shouldn't be surprised if facts come out later.
All right, Mr. Hangshing, you said separate administration. Rami spoke about, within the Hill Council, is there something possible within the existing frameworks? And I'm sorry we have to end because we've been talking a long time. Is there a framework? Is there a formula that is possible within the existing framework?
Firstly, let me assure Colonel Sapam that I didn't say we cannot live together. I said we cannot live together under the same arrangements. We will live together on a different arrangements, on a separate arrangements of administration. We will surely live together. We cannot but live together. Both of us are not going to go anywhere. And once there is a solid separation of administration, we can talk about living together, mixing together, land rights, settling each other on each other's things on equal terms. We cannot go back to the status quo ante, then the same clash will be replayed again. And on Rami's point, I will say again that on the illegal immigrants, which you talk about, which the CM, it's actually a repetition of what the CM has been saying, that there are a lot of illegal immigrations and turning the demographic situation topsy-turvy. Now, and he has presented these satellite images to Delhi, where certain villages have grown in great numbers, but he fails to take images of Kuki villages which have disappeared in different parts of the state. Now you have to remember, in the 90s, the ethnic clashes between the Nagas and Kukis, a lot of over 300 villages of Kukis in Naga areas, or maybe more. I think it is maybe up to 900 villages were displaced. Now he's not talking about those. Those people have to go somewhere. So they come to the other villages. Now he shows only one satellite image of one village saying, look at the increase in the last 20 years. Is that fair? Where are these? These are not illegal. These are internally displaced people.
I know, Ravi, you have your hand up. I feel like I want to just say before you respond, I feel we're getting ahead of ourselves. We need community leadership at the dialogue table. I don't know what formula will emerge. Colonel Sapam is back. He wanted to say something. Okay, Colonel, I'll give you the last word, if that's okay with you, Rami. Colonel Sapam, take it, please. Colonel Sapam, go ahead, sir. Colonel.
Yeah, there was a point which I wanted to, add on to Major Shah. What happened is, Major Shah, there was a gentleman called Tungkupam Meitei. He was the person who went to Ayub Khan in Pakistan, in Rawalpindi, and he had already formed his party for this, Christian state in this region. And his party was trained in East Pakistan. It started from that time only. That was in 1966.
I think we all need to do some reading on this. I think Rami has given us some things to read also, so we'll read up on this. For the moment, all I want to say, is, yes, we'll do another program. We promise you we'll do another program, but
because it's too short.
I'm sorry, but Colonel Sapam, Mr. Hangshing, Major Ali, Rami, we need you at a dialogue table. We need community leaders, experts, people who spend time there. We need you talking not just to me, but to each other, unmediated by people like me. And I really look forward to that day, because I don't know what the solution is. I just hope that you all begin some sort of internal dialogue, that the government is able to mediate that, not just in the back channel, but in the front channel. That is very important. And I promise Colonel Sapam more time next time, but I have to say goodbye now. I'm really out of time. Thank you, Rami. Sir, you're saying something? Sorry, Colonel Sapam, you're saying something? One line, yes.
Just one sentence. Only one sentence. The child of Solomon, the child should not be cut. That is very important. I hope you don't understand this. Yes, it cannot be cut.
It is already cut.
No, it cannot be cut. No, it is not cut.
Okay, Mr. Hangshing says it's already cut. Colonel Sapam says it cannot be cut. This is why we need you
The
both
child
sitting
cannot
at a
be cut.
table.
If the
We
child is
need you
cut,
both
then
to meet.
everyone is dead.
We need you to meet outside of a computer. We need many more of you to meet outside of a computer line. We'll have to say thank you. They're very different perspectives. Mr. Hangshing, Rami, Major Ali, Colonel Sapam, thank you. And to our audience, thank you. And we'll continue to follow what's happening in Manipur. Thank you for watching. Take care. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.